Welcome to Seat Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com. Welcome to Seat Time, everybody. Brian Pierce here. So, episode 83. It's Tuesday night, sometime in May. We had quite the eventful weekend for at least us here in Texas with the Beer Olympics that Seat Time put on. You're all lucky I'm here. It sounds like everybody that was in Vegas had an amazing time. We'll talk a little bit about that with some of our guests. Even though they were on the East Coast, I'm pretty sure they heard some fantastic stories about some of the things that might have gone on in Vegas. So, what you're watching right now is Seat Time. We're going to talk about a lot of the off-road news that went on and some of the more dirt bike oriented, more two-wheeled off-road, if you will. So a lot of GNCC stuff that's going to be going down. We had some Enduro Cross this past weekend right before the Supercross, some National Hare and Hound, all kinds of good stuff. The guest that we have on this fine May 7th here on a unfortunately very hot day in Texas is Jen Kenyon. So for those of you who don't know, go check her out online. You should stalk her because she's awesome. Lots of good stuff to say. She as well as she's become more famous, I would say. Not that she wasn't famous before. She's become more famous as of late because of the fact that GNCC Live, or the GNCC organization, Racer Productions, has started doing what they are calling the GNCC Live webcast. And she is not. She's the Aaron Bates of that program, if you will. We're not going to be able to use that for long because I'm sure that she is just going to be the Jen Kenyon of the Aaron Batesness. It's going to be, she's coming out with her own little niche. I love it. So we got Jen Kenyon on. She says that she's having a fantastic evening. Her beanie, it must be cold up there or something, but it looks good. It looks good. And then of course we've got Zach Nolan right now. Zach's going to be joining us for a little bit. We're going to talk about his XC2 win this past weekend in Kentucky at the Tough Mudder. I don't know if I caught that in a press release. I think it's a good name. I think we're going to use it. Yeah, no, Jen, totally. Props to you. So, let's start with Jen. Tuesday. It's like still kind of the beginning of the week. I mean, how is it? Is it going okay?
Yeah, it's going well. You know, I think Zach can attest to this. We brought the rain with us back to West Virginia. So.
Oh, no.
Yep. It was nice all weekend long, the whole time we were in that rain and the mud, and then, you know, we just brought it back here to West Virginia.
Is it so Zach, are you in West Virginia right now? Is that where your home is at?
Yeah, this is where I live.
Okay.
It's putting down the rain pretty good here too.
Man, and so but obviously being Mother's Day weekend, you know, we're not going to have a GNCC just yet. But in 2 weeks when we come back, where is the next GNCC going to be? Is it going to be close to where all this rain's falling?
It's going to be Indiana, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll be in Springville, Indiana.
How close is that to you guys up there? I'm definitely not a national geographer or anything of, you know, national renowned smartness.
I would say it's about 6.5 hours or so. It's in the Midwest. So.
Okay. Oh, so a little bit west of you guys.
Yeah, it's
okay.
near Indianapolis.
So, if they had rain at this point, they will have gotten it actually before you guys did this past week in Kentucky. I think that's the weatherman always points at clouds and they move and circulate, and I just kind of worry about what happens in Texas, to be completely honest. I'm not, you know, I'm a Texan now, so little self-centered maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it must be terrible living in all that sunshine.
It's hot already. It is like ridiculous. Steven and I were standing here in the Seat Time studio. Definitely give the quotes on that one because it's, you know, the side office in a small house in the middle of nowhere. But all of a sudden we're like, why is it so hot in here? And we just realized that, you know, as it starts to become more summer, the sun just beams in the side window. And we're like, okay, we need to figure something out about that because it's ridiculous. Okay, but enough about Texas and the sun because we don't want to talk about that. One of the things we want to talk about is Kentucky and some of the nasty-ass mud and the crazy conditions that you guys had to put up with. So, Zach, how many times have you washed your bike?
Well, unfortunately, it's not back home with me. It's down in Virginia with my dad.
Oh.
And I talked to him a little bit ago, and he said he spent 4.5 hours, and my bike's still a mess. He said there's mud in places he never thought there would be.
So it's like, I mean, it's not only, you know, engine rebuilds and clutches, which is, I think, one of the key points that Jen covered on when she in her press release, and then a lot of the riders and mechanics after the race when you guys were doing your interviews. But I think as well, like, you know, all the bearings, all the seals, like everything. I mean, every moving part on that bike has now got to be checked out and most likely replaced, if not at least given, given a really good glance over for sure, right? I mean, so your dad's taking care of that for you though?
Yeah, this week he'll be working on it down there. He said the head gasket was melted and the breather tube was melted because it was so hot because the radiators were just packed full of so much mud. It had no way to breathe, and you're out there in them fields just running all you can run, and it just won't take it.
And Jen, you did not race. Did I get that correct?
I did not race, no.
So was there no? I know typically you guys have like a morning race, like the youth race. I believe it's like an 8 o'clock race. And was that canceled or was that moved? How did that go over for those guys?
No, those guys actually went out there and raced. I'm not sure how long their course was. I know they had to obviously shorten it up quite a bit, but yeah, the youth riders went out and raced. They did their normal deal. I think it was a little bit shorter than usual, but they did it.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's awesome. I would like to get both of y'all's opinions, and we could start on either side. I think that it was absolutely the correct decision to make to, one, keep racing as long as the landowner's okay with it, because obviously that's as Rodney Tomlin mentioned, the ecological reasons, if you will, for what can happen with that much kind of mud. And then, I mean, you got all those people there. They want to race. It's a good thing to do for the series, all that kinds of stuff. So I think you guys made the right decision to, one, race, and two, make it 2 hours. But give me your thoughts, Jen, on, kind of the way that it was that, everything went down.
Yeah, you're always going to have people that complain either way. People are going to be upset if you do race. People are going to be upset if they drive all that way and you don't race. So I think that Racer Productions, and I'm not just saying this, I think they made the right decision by, like you said, combining the two races together and then cutting it a little bit short. If you're an amateur racer, you get slow season. So if you chose not to race, you could, if you're an amateur racer, you could have gone home and it wouldn't have affected anything. Guys like Zach, unfortunately, have to race if they want to be in the running for the championship.
Yeah.
But I think that that's part of being a pro racer. And although you guys have, Zach, you guys have other jobs, if you're a pro racer, then you should be able to race in any kind of conditions. And, especially Racer Productions and the Coombs family, they've been doing this so long that's actually how the races used to be. They used to be all in one race. So there were a lot of nostalgic people that were actually pretty pumped to have everybody racing all at once, because that's how it used to be back in the day, I guess, from what I hear. So
yeah, way back in the day.
yeah, way before our time. But I think it went really well for what it was, and the track was somewhat passable. These guys made it work. They got around. Our women were out there. They finished. They did really awesome. So it was a good track for what we had out there.
Yeah, I mean, Zach, do you kind of agree, and or what are your points for us to take away from all that?
I couldn't understand you there. You're cutting in and out.
It's like, so, I mean, obviously Jen was saying a lot to, to how the race went down and the fact that it was good that it was still held, and that, you're a pro racer. You're going to need to kind of step up in situations like this if you're looking to one day be in the hunt for the championship. I mean, do you feel that's completely correct, or how do you feel about racing out there in those conditions and stuff like that, and how Racer Productions handled the situation?
No, I think they did the right decision too, because like you said, you got all those people there. I mean, Jen said, you're going to make people. You can't please everybody. You're going to have people happy and you're going to have people mad. I'm glad they chose to race. I mean, I like that conditions. I mean, back up here in West Virginia, that's what we run. Cricks and hills. I mean, you fight your way the whole time. I mean, there is no slack. So it was fun for me the whole time. I mean, I was pumped before, I was pumped after, I was even more pumped after. But I mean, I liked it. I had fun. I worked. You got to work for it. So yeah. That's what we did.
I have one question from your statement. How do you spell the word crick?
They spell it creek, C-R-E-E-K.
But okay, because I'm pretty sure you just gave us our episode title is Cricks and Hills. I just don't know how to spell the word crick, so I'm gonna go with C-R-I-K. You think that, Jen? Do you think that's gonna politically get the point across?
Hey, I think we're from West Virginia. We can say it however we want.
Absolutely. Oh yeah,
That's
believe
right.
me, there are enough Texans down here. I have learned that people say shit weird. Like the way it's spelled does not mean the way that you should pronounce it. It's all about what's in here. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going down. Well, good. Well, it was awesome. I had to watch the live coverage that the GNCC guys or Racer Productions put on, twice because of the fact that I missed like the first 40 minutes because my parents were in town and stuff. I know I'm a horrible friend and enjoyer of the GNCC, but so I got to go back and watch it all over again. I absolutely loved it. Watching the start was crazy. It was so muddy. Everybody coming in there. I mean, it was batshit nuts. The best part, I think, Jen, you used a picture of Ken Hill, or from Ken Hill, of Thad, Paul, and Chris Bach in that second turn. What I love is the fact that Thad is just clean as all get out. Paul Whibley is super clean. And then you've got Chris Bach, who is already totally covered. All right, now, Zach, tell us about that. What that was like for you being a racer on that line when that's just that nuts.
Yeah, I started way to the outside. I was thinking, I'll stay out here and stay clean, keep my goggles on, and I come around that first turn. I mean, just from every direction. I mean, it piled on me so fast that it was hard to keep my head up because my helmet was just packed. And I finally got through a couple of those turns, and I took my goggles off. Heck, I took my goggles off probably the first mile into the woods. I said, well, these ain't going to work.
Right.
I was trying to scrape the mud off my helmet and stuff. But, I mean, there was no way to get out of it. I mean, you had people in front of you, beside you. They were sliding all over the place. I mean, it was just a mess.
Yeah. Well, what kind of, knowing in those situations, I've done multiple muddy enduros, and I have plenty of like pre-muddy race conditions. Kind of things that I'll go through to prep my bike and prep myself and goggles and stuff like that. What are the specifics that you guys may have gone through going, oh my gosh, this is just going to be such a tough mudder? So, how do you, what kind of preparation did you go through?
Well, normally when my old bike, my SX, my motocross bike, we always used to have to tape it up and everything. But this woods bike, being a new woods bike, the only thing we really done, I stuck them big mud guards on the bark busters to try to keep my grips clean. We normally use like some kind of sock or something that you put over your radiator guards so that way when the mud hits it, it bounces back off and doesn't get packed back in there. But really, we didn't do a whole bunch of nothing. I mean, I had new tires on. I knew it was going to be muddy. Put new tires on, and we actually just got it put together there at the track, and it was running all right. Me and Dad was both a little worried if it would make it or not because it had a pop to it that we can't figure out yet. But, yeah. I mean, just it held together, and we were just going out and going to do the best we could do with what we had.
Well, you did, I think, much better than what I thought you were probably going to do. You got first. I mean, that's pretty awesome, though. It in muddy conditions like this, definitely throughout history of watching any kind of archival footage on most motorcycle races, it seems that these big mud races really start to separate men from the boys, and where people can start to really take advantage of some of the bad luck that a lot of people have. Now, racing's racing. You come out first. The people that show up on the line are the ones that are racing, and that's just how it works itself out. So,
yeah.
What does this tell you going into the next round? Like, what kind of, I mean, obviously you're going to get a ton of confidence from this kind of stuff, but learning what you learned, like how are you going to kind of approach Indiana?
Well, I'm thinking it really helped me with like the head game that everybody plays, going to the starting line, being nervous or being worried about this and worried about that. I think it definitely helped me with that because now my confidence is boosted. I mean, I know it was a muddy race and I'm a little bit better in the mud maybe than some of them guys. So Indiana is definitely going to be a whole new ball game, but boost my confidence, try not to be nervous. Just go out and do the best you can do, ride as hard as you can do, and just ride, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Jen, you weren't the one that was doing the interviews after of the XC2 guys. That was Stuart Baylor that was doing those. You can't not say something about it because of the fact that Jason Thomas seemed a little like kind of not perturbed, but just like, I don't know how I got second. Now it's a mud race. Everybody is a brown glob, and I get that kinds of stuff. So,
yeah.
That was just kind of interesting that he had that to say. But we all know that Thomas is going to say what he thinks regardless, and that's fine. Everybody does that. So, I mean, from the interviews that we got from the XC2 guys, what were you thinking about all that kind of stuff?
I think that actually Jason thought he got first. When he came through the finish line, he was already like cheering and fist pumping, and he was all excited. And then he had to find out that he didn't win. So when he pulled off and realized that Zach was already there, waiting for him. I think that kind of threw him for a loop, and I think that's why when Stu came up to him, I mean, like you said, Jason Thomas is going to say what he thinks no matter what.
Yeah.
But I think most of all, he was just really kind of caught off guard because he legitimately thought he was the first one across the line. But I think after, Zach, you pretty much spelled out exactly where you passed him on the podium, and it's not like you could have just dreamt that up in your head. So I think once he kind of settled down a little bit, he realized that he got beat. But I'm sure it's hard with all those people out there, and I know I wouldn't be able to tell one brown blob from another.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of brown blobs, and even say when we were watching the end of the live webcast, they were like, "Oh, it looks like Thad Duvall's in first place in the XC1 class," and they're like, "Oh wait, no, maybe it's Strang." But then they look at the updates, and it was because Thad had already come through, and that's it. You really have so much trouble, knowing who those riders are, and it's luckily we have transponders.
And that's a big problem out there too. I mean, you might pass two guys in your class right there at one spot, but you're not sure. You don't know who they are. They don't know who you are. Your stickers on the back of your helmet are all covered up. So it's get from the finish line back around the finish line as quick as you can. Doing the best that you can do and hoping that no one's getting around you, hoping you're getting around guys that are in your class.
Yeah, man. Those were crazy conditions. So how did you guys get stuck getting pulled out of the parking? We saw a lot of guys posted pictures and stuff and all that. How was that for y'all?
Yeah, my dad was in a motorhome and my brother had his car. We actually, all of us had to get pulled out. The only one that didn't have to get pulled out was my mom. And that's because she wouldn't bring her new car down in the track. She just left it out there on the road.
Smart lady.
Yeah, my dad, he got pulled out in the motorhome, and so did my brother in his car. We all had to get towed.
What about you guys, Jen? How was that getting all the Racer Productions guys out of there?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the GNCC, the Mid-State Chevrolet truck, and I definitely had to get pulled out also. So I think we were at the track until about 9 or 9:30 that night, just before we could get out. I know that those guys still aren't home from the track, so they've been doing a whole lot of cleanup. Hopefully it stopped raining there so they could get some work done without being sopping wet and muddy all day.
Yeah, we get to pay attention to some of the pictures too. What is it, the random adventures of Jared Bolton? Or
Yeah.
Those are always some fun pictures that that little ginger puts up for us for sure. Well, we didn't really say much about the XC1 class. Now that's definitely quite a big change up. In the points and the way that's going to shake out. So with Thad Duvall getting the first, that's his second overall win. He got his first last year, his second win this year on his Honda, but this time was on a 250F. And then Josh Strang getting second place, and then what was it? Chris Bach going over third. Yeah. So I mean, we had interesting. Even though Strang's been up there a couple times. We had quite the new podium this year. I mean, this past race. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was definitely a change up. It's always exciting when you can, a mud race like this, you can kind of change things up quite a bit. Charlie and Caleb are just flying this year, and they've obviously been killing it. But as much as I love those two, and I think they're great riders, I thought it was really cool to have a bit of a switch up this weekend with, a new podium for the XC1.
Absolutely. Now, I remember reading a little bit about the fact that since Thad Duvall was on his 250F, was this the first 250F to ever win an overall XC1 class or XC1 race?
I'm not really big into saying that this is the first time things have ever happened because you just never know, especially as much history has gone through GNCC. Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, yeah, but I really have no idea. I asked Barry Hawk right after he crossed the finish line, and he said that he thought it could be too, but we'd probably have to do some research to see if it has happened.
Right, and I have a feeling that there's probably way more pressing matters for you to attend to at the office than that.
I mean, it's always cool to know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In recent history, at least, yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, and then Josh Strang with his new privateer team, and then of course we got Chris Bach with his privateer team. So it was pretty much like a privateer podium up there on the XC1 class. And Mullins getting 7th. He got in 4 laps when it looked like the top guys got in 5. And then Caleb Russell was in 11th with only 3 laps. Now, I did, on the webcast, you guys were showing some footage of him pulling in, having some words with Auntie, beat about whatever, and then kind of going back out and getting back on the, getting back on the course. I would assume wherever he got off. So be it gas issues, bike issues, or whatever. So he was having a rough day too. So it definitely kind of leveled things out. I don't even know if it really leveled things out more so as it brought Mullins's points lead a little bit closer, but then Russell now is like a little bit further away, and the rest of the field is closer to Russell. So it's still almost, benefited Mullins. But, I mean, he beat people, so that's the way it should work out points-wise.
Yeah, but you know what? He probably had the short end of the stick when it was all said and done because, he didn't even get pulled into his pit until about an hour and a half after the race was over. Zach was probably showered, had dinner, both of his cars got pulled out, and then Charlie Mullins got pulled into his pit. So I feel kind of bad for him because I was sitting there and I just look over and you just see Charlie getting pulled back to his pit, and it was so late. He had to have been so cold.
Well, that's yeah. I did not know that, and I'm glad you told us because that does suck. Charlie Mullins, apologize. It sucks.
Yeah.
Next
we
time.
see the lead.
Yeah. I mean, if you could have gotten the bike started, you could have put your hands on the muffler. But I'd imagine if you were that stuck, you'd probably.
I don't think he probably could get the bike started.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Now, Zach, in your class, so we had Zach first place, XC2, Jason Thomas in second, and then Justin Sode, who got the whole shot off the XC2 line, was in third place. So we had an awesome little privateer podium as well, up there for the XC2 guys. I mean, this was really cool. DeLong finished 22nd and, got 2 laps in. Grant Baylor 14th with 3 laps in. So some of the guys that were up there were, they as well just had bad days. The mud didn't treat some people well, and it treated others fantastic. So it was definitely some interesting results that came away this weekend.
Yeah, there was a lot of interesting things going on in the pits during that whole period of time. Like Grant and Andrew both went missing around the same time, and then all of a sudden you see Grant's whole pit crew, they're pushing his bike back. I think they actually replaced a head gasket in his bike, sent him back out, and they did all that in the KTM pits while half of the crew was doing that. The other half of the crew was trying to put a new clutch in Maria Forsberg's bike.
Yeah.
So the KTM pit was just blowing up, and then they got Andrew DeLong's bike back, but there was just no way that they were going to salvage that one. So
yeah,
Grant
that was crazy.
They still got some points.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, is that they were just trying. They were like, you know what? If we can do this, we've got an hour. If we can do this in 30 minutes, we can get another lap. And then hopefully that other lap is the 2 points at the end of the year that wins us the championship, and that's the mentality you got to have, I get, because I think Stu too, he was over there running around helping out with everybody, and be a part of the team. You're part of the team. You got to do what's necessary, and that was part of it. So it was great to see. Some of the footage you guys had was fantastic. It was great seeing so many people have issues right there in pit row. That was, the cameras almost got taken out a couple times just because guys were just paddling all over the place. Now, I know I would have been doing the same, so believe me, I'm not calling anybody out. It was just awesome to see and realize that I was home in my sunny Texas.
Yeah.
Not there.
Cold and rainy there.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. But, if I'd have been next to Jeremy Saylor in the trailer, I'd have been okay with it. We'd have high-fived a little. Maybe. I don't know. So, Zach, your dad's working on the bikes. Got Indiana next. We've kind of talked about how you're going to, carry this momentum into it. But, what are some of the things you're going to wind up working on during the summer break? Now, we've got a couple races left before we're going to get there. But, being on a privateer team, kind of doing it all homegrown and stuff like that. What are some of the things that you work on to really kind of try to, to boost your skill level and to get faster?
Oh, I definitely need to work on my endurance some. I have a full-time job, so it's kind of hard to be able to go out and ride every day or run or jog or whatever you need to do to stay in shape. I've improved some already just from racing so much because sometimes I race twice a weekend, and I'm definitely going to try to get in the gym this summer. I'm going to get in the gym as soon as this gym right up the road here opens up. I'm just going to try to get in the gym 2 or 3 nights a week, and the other nights, days I should say, because I work night shift. The other days I'm just going to try to ride some.
Well, that sounds like me. I try to ride too, but being that, just had shoulder surgery, ain't happening for a while.
Yeah.
I just think about it, I like look at my bike in the garage, no oil, no gas in it. I'm like, damn, it looks good though, because I cleaned it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I made sure. As it sits there in the garage, it doesn't get used for 6 months. At least it looks good while it does it. You know what I mean? It's like a prize trophy. What about you, Jen? When are you going to ride next?
My bike's currently out of commission.
Yeah? Officially? Just...
Yeah, I put a Recluse clutch in it and something went astray. And now the clutch doesn't work at all, so I need to take it apart.
Here's the real question. When you say, I put in a Recluse clutch, was that Jen Kenyon put in the Recluse clutch?
All by myself. It was just me. I was sitting in the garage one night. No, actually there was like 5 or 6 of us because none of us had ever seen one before. And I think that one of the 6 of us did something wrong because it doesn't work. So...
I'm pretty sure because when people work on a bike together in the garage, every single person needs to be drinking out of the same 12-pack or 24-pack. And if you're splitting it up any, it just I'm telling you, man, stuff goes weird when people try to get all fishnickety on their beers.
Well, like 3 of the people that was in the garage they're not even old enough to drink.
Well, that's okay then. No, yeah. Well, believe me, I don't.
I was with Lane Michaels' dad, who doesn't drink at all, so it's kind of a party pooper,
Hey, well, that's okay. Everybody's got their reasons. Be it they're underage, which is a fantastic reason to not drink, and then of course, some people they have their other reasons, which are their own, and we're always okay with that as well. Well, I hope you get your bike situation figured out, Jen. We want to see you back out there because you like to race in some of the morning races, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but the first year that I was with GNCC, it was a lot easier to race just because I didn't have as many job duties. And every round, I kind of pick up something new, so it's becoming harder to actually be able to ride at the events. But I definitely want to try after the summer break, I think, to get out there, at least for Ironman. I always love to ride Ironman, so hopefully.
Yes. Well, that'd be cool, man. I really hope that at some point this year I can make it out to another GNCC. If I do, that would be like 3 years in a row I actually made it out to one GNCC.
But we don't have Loretta Lynn's anymore, so you can't get there.
I can't drive to any. I definitely can't drive to anything. What's that?
You could go there, but we won't be there.
Yeah, I know. It's quite unfortunate. Yeah, there's whatever the scheduling conflict was, I'll be at that event.
Yeah, I forget what it is. Probably like horse trail riding.
Yeah, that sounds.
I can see it.
That sounds boring. I mean, I'm pretty sure they drink beer, so I know I'll fit in regardless.
There you go.
At the same time,
you could come up to the one in West Virginia.
That sounds awesome.
Mountaintop.
Is that the snowshoe, or is Mountaintop a different one?
Well, you'd come to, it's called Mountain Run or something, I think, on the schedule.
What is it, Jen?
It's Mountaineer Run.
Mountaineer Run. See, I want to do snowshoe because I actually, for a couple years, I raced a couple national mountain bike events in the expert downhill class, and I raced at snowshoe 1 year at one of the Norba Nationals, and I freaking loved it. So to go back to do that in a dirt bike atmosphere, oh, dude, that would be fantastic. I mean, the slow guy class for sure, but that's okay.
That one's pretty gnarly. That's Zach's kind of track right there.
Oh,
I like that one too.
Yeah, I love that stuff, man. Where it just gets gnarly, technical, and it's like you just got to think the whole time. I don't know why, but I love that kind of stuff. So I'm down. Well, dude, Zach, it's not that we want to kick you off. We just don't like to have the show go over a full hour, and we're gonna get Max Gersten on so that we can talk to him about some of the Endurocross stuff that went on. Definitely, congratulations on your win this past weekend. You totally earned it. That shit was awesome. I'm glad that I got to watch it live. So, one, definitely thank you to GNCC for allowing that to happen. I appreciate that for sure. And, dude, congrats. So, please, take all the time you need to thank all the people you need to thank because I know that they're dying to get all the publicity they can, and they definitely deserve it.
Yeah, I don't have a whole bunch, but the few that I have really helped me out a bunch and allow me to do what I need to do. Bill Bailey, he's at Outlaw Motorsports. It's in Morgantown, West Virginia, right down the road from here, right down the road from where I live. And he helps me a bunch. I mean, parts on my bike, whatever he can do and however he can do it, he normally does it for me. So that again, I want to thank Outlaw. I want to thank Sycra, IMS, Rider PG, One Industries. Them are guys we all go through. Bill hooks me up with them, and they give us good discounts and give us stuff at the beginning of the year to start us off, to get us going. And they're getting better each year. Like last year, they didn't help us quite as much as they did this year. You know, each year they're helping us more and more, so that's good. One of my dad's buddies, his name's Pride. He has a company, he builds houses. It's his own. It's called Build with Pride. And he helps with expenses. That makes it nice because, I mean, it's not cheap to do all these. And my brother, he's got his own little shop here at the house. He just started up. And he helps me work on my bikes when I'm not. You know, for instance, when I go to work at 3 o'clock and don't get off till midnight, you know, I can holler at him or leave him a list of something to do on my bike, so that way I can either ride it or be ready to race or whatever I need to do. But that's the majority of them, and my parents.
Yeah.
You always got to know all that. So.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's the one thing I think that anybody in the motorcycle world, or really in any kind of sport, is like always go back. At least I can thank my parents for always believing in me enough to push my ass to keep going. So, and supporting when paychecks don't come through.
That's right. I mean, if it wasn't for them, you know, I wouldn't even be racing. I mean, that's who got me. That's who bought me my bikes and the trailers to haul them, the vehicles to pull the trailers, and all that. So I got to definitely thank them. Absolutely.
Well, cool, man. We definitely appreciate you having on the show. If you ever want to be on again, you just hit us up, let us know. You had a good race, bad race, or you just got funny stories to tell us about people you saw at the races. We're down to hear them. We're down to talk about it and definitely have a couple laughs about it. So thanks again, man. Good luck. Have fun in Indiana. And tell your mother Happy Mother's Day. That'd be a good way to do it.
All right.
Later, dude.
See you.
All right. So Steven is going to go ahead and get us set up here to talk to Max Gersten, who had an amazing race this past weekend in Vegas. Jen's going to stay on for a little bit longer and ask some fun questions. I think it's going to be a good time. But I just wanted to say thank you very much to one of our sponsors for supporting Seat Time. I know that when you guys saw, we had our introduction, Fly Racing. Fly Racing is a huge supporter of Seat Time. They're our title sponsor. They help us out, not just a little bit of products here and now for us to review and for us to talk about, but as well they give us a little bit of money. And it's not something that it's like, hey, they pay us. That's not what it is. They don't pay us. They give us a little bit of money so that we can run the show. We don't do this to make money. We do this because we have a lot of fun, and we help with Steven get gas money so that he can drive across town to come help us produce the show. And I think that shows the commitment that they have to the off-road industry, and what and how much fun they're trying to have. They support a ton of teams, and I think it'd be great if the off-road community would support them back. So you could check them out at flyracing.com. Please support them for their support of Seat Time. We really, really appreciate their help. It's been a fantastic ride, and we look forward to more times with Dale Spengler. So Steven's still pushing buttons and making stuff happen over here. Jen is beautifying herself, if you will, on the other side of the camera. Yes, it looks fantastic. You need to go to the dry bar, I think. And,
that's great because I can't see myself, so I hope that I look okay.
No, you do. You look fantastic. I think your beanie's amazing. It hides the fact of your receding hairline, all that stuff. I'm just kidding. It doesn't.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, what are you, like 24?
I just turned 25 2 weeks ago.
Man, nice. I get 34 this summer, so I got you by a couple years. But that's okay. Everybody's got somebody, right?
Hopefully.
Steven's still playing around. It seems like we're having a little bit of trouble there. Is he on? Are we getting video? Hey, Max, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me or anything? Or?
We can't see you, but we have a fantastically cute picture of you, so if nothing else.
How do I make it so we can see each other or whatever?
If we could figure that out, if it's because your bandwidth is good enough, at the bottom you're going to have a little marquee. There's going to be a video button that says either stop video or start video, and if that does not have a little no smoking sign through it, then you might be SOL.
All I have is a hold button and a mute button. I don't really know what else there is.
Well, you may not have video. For whatever reason, Mr. Max Gersten. All right, we're going to get to listen to you opposed to see you.
Alrighty. That
there it
sounds
is.
good.
So just so you know, we have Miss Jen Kenyon on the phone as well with us. I guess on the internet with us. I don't really know what you would on the Skype with us. We're Skyping, It's dirty. I'm into it. Yeah. So she's gonna she wanted to learn a little bit about what went on this past weekend at the craziness of Vegas. So we had the Enduro Cross on Friday night, and then of course we had the Supercross finale on Saturday. So I can only imagine, since your racing was over due to Friday night's racing, that Saturday night was pretty entertaining for you.
Me?
Yeah, Max, you were the one in Vegas.
Oh, well, I was racing Friday night, though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Since you raced Friday night, I would imagine that your Saturday night was just like, let loose a little.
Yeah, I tried to let loose a little bit on Friday night, but I was pretty tired, and then it was, we were working in the morning hours there, and I was pretty beat, so I kind of had to call it a night a little earlier than I wanted to. But
early in
yeah.
Vegas is 4 a.m. So if you didn't make it to 4 a.m., you're not trying hard enough.
Okay, well then I tried hard enough because I made it to 4.
Win. It's funny that I guessed that. I've been to Vegas, so I know.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Yeah,
dude.
it's like you just all of a sudden you're awake till 4 a.m. and you're like, oh, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah,
I don't know what's
like
going on.
where'd the whole night go? So
I do. All right. Well, dude, just break it down for us. What's awesome is we've got, say, like Racer Productions is doing the live GNCC webcast. We've got the Endurocross guys doing the live Endurocross webcast. So, me being in Texas, I got to watch all of this racing live. It was freaking fantastic. Nice. I enjoyed all of it. So from your perspective, though, as a racer that was there at this event, just tell us about how awesome it was and or wasn't, or some of the key points, high points, low points, awesome points. Just give us your story, man.
Dude, it was awesome. I mean, the whole Vegas thing is always fun. It's the first round of the year. Everybody's excited. Everybody wants to ride. Everybody's anxious. Everybody just, I get there and all I want to do is ride. Everybody's coming. Everybody wants to see what everybody else has been doing, and it's fun. It's kind of the race. Everybody gets to prove themselves, but it's fun. They had the whole Vegas scene going on, and everybody's in kind of a party, fun kind of mood, which is how I like to roll. I'm always in that mood, so I fit right in. But hell yeah! So I don't know. Yeah, it was fun. The event went off pretty flawlessly with their new format with the hot laps and stuff like that. So that was fun, and it was all in all just a fun experience. I had a really good time. I raced pretty well, so I was stoked on that. And I was just all in all glad to see that my training and hard work has been paying off a little bit. So.
Absolutely. So I think you mentioned a really key point that in the format that has changed. This year is the fact that you guys do essentially 2 sets of hot laps. So you do a hot lap for gate pick for, the heats, and then as well, after the fact, you do hot lap for gate picks in the main. So mentally, is there much of a change there for you guys, or is that really just kind of like, okay, we've got another set of hot laps?
That's a good question. But for me, there's no mental change. I don't really, at that track specifically, gate pick did matter because a start was a big thing because the track was fairly easy, so it was easy to go fast on, so it was hard to make up time, so that made your start kind of important. And I don't know, I didn't really change anything mentally, but I think the hot lap thing is cool, and I think it's good for the fans. It's always fun to watch the hot laps, so I didn't change anything what I do, and I don't mind it. I think it's cool, so yeah, it's all good.
Right. No, absolutely. Now, Jen, I'm not going to call any pressure to you, but I'm just going to let you know this is your show too right now. Officially made you co-host, so
really?
you are not to be called on. You are to call on. You know what I'm saying? So,
woo!
Yeah.
Well,
shit.
That's why I'm looking at the results from Friday night's race because, forgive me, I don't know them.
Hey, you were working. Stuff happens. It's called life. But no, for sure. No, I just wanted to give you a heads up, Jen. Please do not feel like I need to call you out on any of this stuff. Max, if you want to ask us questions, you have that same ability, so just so you heads up. But talking about the hot laps, I watched today the hot lap of Mr. Cody Webb on his Beta 300, and he rode that thing like a raped ape. That thing was screaming. It was insane. Yeah. So, whoa. So was your did your hot lap feel like that at all, Max?
Dude, when I ride my hot lap, I'm thinking to myself, there is no way anybody can possibly go any faster than what I'm going right now. But then they do, and I'm like, okay, I don't even know how they did that, but but yeah, he was screaming. He rode really well, and I felt like I was screaming, and I don't know, just the hot lap thing. I guess I'm not very good at hot laps, but I could just do the same lap, like 10 laps in a row. So
Right.
maybe that's what I'm good at.
Hey, consistency sometimes. I mean,
That's right.
so it brings in the Benjamins.
That's right.
Sometimes the ladies. I mean, not really
Sometimes.
historically, but we could say it does for your sake, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm for sure down with that. I like that.
Yeah. You're like, I'm going to sleep better thinking about that. So that's fine. I think it's fantastic.
Right.
You said the track looked fairly easy. I want to punch you, but this is over the internet. Are you kidding? That was ridiculous. Now, it didn't look as hard as Brazil did, but
Yeah.
that was still, I don't know. How is that track fairly easy? Tell me what makes a professional endurocross rider look at that track and say, that was fairly easy, versus something that's fairly hard.
Well, basically, I mean, Brazil was just insanely hard, pretty much because of the soil that they had, the dirt they had there. It was like pottery clay, dude. It was like slippery, and it was like, my comparison is if you poured oil on linoleum. That's how slippery it was, and that's kind of what made it tough. And the rock uphill was tough as well. But this Vegas, just last weekend, wasn't very difficult in the sense that there was no one obstacle that slowed everybody down or that people could, go into there and lose, 5-10 seconds in. It was all, from a technicality standpoint, fairly easy for the riders. Like last year, the final 2012 Endurocross final, they had that insane rock turn that transferred right into that rock hill downhill thing, and it got slippery and oily and wet, and that was just downright insane. And that was a difficult track, and there were some other difficult tracks as well throughout the series last year, and I'm expecting that this year as well. But there wasn't really one thing on the track that really slowed you down. It was pretty easy to hit your line through the rock section every time. It was kind of jumpy. It was actually really fun. I actually really liked the track. I tend to like the technical stuff, but I also like the fast stuff. So either way with me is good, and I just go out there and pin it and have fun no matter what. But I thought the track was fun, and it was I don't know. It kind of, in a way, it almost kind of leveled out the playing field because there was no one obstacle that set the technical riders apart from the more moto-y kind of guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. When you speak about some of the elements on the track, I think about that picture of you that I saw on Facebook from the Stillwell guys of you essentially jumping the ever-living shit out of the fire pit. That was insane. You had that beta just gnarified.
Yeah, she was straight up and down. I people call me Larry Loop Out because of that move, but but yeah, that was pretty gnarly. I don't know. All the other guys were jumping it the whole thing, and I kind of wish I would have done that. But I kind of jumped it and landed with my ass in the wood pile, and kind of fluttered out of it. But I kind of wish I would have just hooked the whole thing now that I knew it was possible.
Yeah, well, sometimes, man, you just gotta reach out there and grab it, man. You gotta take it away from people, not just let them take it from you.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That sounds like a really that should be up there in the top 10 slogans of Tuesday, May 7th, 2013. Easy.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
After 6:55 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. One of your comments about the X Games in Brazil that made me giggle was about the oil and linoleum. And I do know how slippery that is because of the last bachelor party I went to.
Did you just happen to come across a quarter Rotel and you spilled it all over the linoleum?
Well, if it had been Brian Elliott's bachelor party, we definitely know that something would have happened and gone wrong. And, of course, we would have been, partying in some kind of motorcycle lubricant. But, that's how he parties. Live life off-road, right?
Yeah.
That's what he says, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens at those weddings stays at those weddings, right?
Yeah, those are their own Vegas. All right, before we go ahead and jump into a little bit more discussions about some of the other racings that went on, some of the stuff that Max is going to be doing, and some of the thoughts that Jen has had in the past 10 minutes, we're going to talk about one of our other sponsors for Seat Time, and of course, it's going to be Squarespace. We can't say thank you to Squarespace enough because of the fact that this is not your typical moto sponsor, and the reason why they have I think taken an interest in Seat Time and why we have reached out to them is because of what they can offer a lot of the athletes that are out there within our sport. It's very hard. I am a web developer. I develop websites every day for very, very large corporations and sometimes very non-large awesome mom and pop shops as well. Everybody needs their own kind of website, and they need different levels and websites that span all kinds of sizes. What's great about Squarespace is that you can go to squarespace.com/seattime and you can sign up, pick one of their templates for free. You can start a website for the first 2 weeks, and you can find out how this is going to work for you. And what's awesome is everything's there for you. You can host this site there, which is fantastic because you don't need to be a member of any other, you don't have to have a server. You don't have to, buy the URL through anybody else and transfer all that kind of stuff. You can do it all right there through Squarespace. You can run all your content through Squarespace, all your images. Everything is responsive. I'm like, what is responsive? Well, it's like, oh, I'm on a little tiny device, which is my mobile phone. Oh, it looks great. You know why? Because that's what they make. They make great-looking websites there. But then you go to Big Browser, you're on your desktop, you're on your laptop, and it looks just as fantastic. And you realize, oh my gosh, all of my content looks exactly the same, but for the big browser or maybe for the little tiny content, mobile device that you have. And that is what they do for you as a provider of a fantastic web service. So if you're looking to build a website that looks extremely professional, holds all of your content in the way that sponsors would like to see it and be able to read it, and so it doesn't feel like it's a broken, jumbled mess sometimes, go check out Squarespace. You can find it at squarespace.com/seattime. And of course, if you'd like to save money when you sign up, we even have a discount code for you. So this month, it's actually Seat Time 5. We have not changed the lower third, as Steven is rolling over it vigorously at me to point out because I suck and I forget to change that kind of stuff. We definitely say thank you very much to Squarespace for their support of Seat Time. Seat Time 5 is a discount code. Go save yourself 10%. Check them out. Thank you very much for your support. All right, Max.
Yo.
What is up? What's next for you in your life, man? It's like Barcelona. I don't know if you're going to Barcelona. We've got some more Endurocross. What else? Just tell us about all this stuff.
I don't even know, man. I'm just going,
Living the life, right? You're like, where am I going today? Did I wake up? I don't know, maybe.
I think next up for me is Barcelona. So yeah, I'll hop on a flight. I think I leave. I don't even know. Don't even ask me when I leave. But
well, it's May 16th through the 19th, and if it's any kind of schedule from what we did last time, I guess you guys will be on the 16th, right? That Thursday.
Well, I know we're racing on a Saturday this time.
So I was wrong. Don't listen to me. Check the schedule online. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's cool that we get to go on Saturday this time instead of Thursday. But I think I'm going to show up a little bit early, watch some of the other events, and then leave a little bit later. Because last time, dude, I pretty much flew down there, raced, and flew back. And we were in Brazil. It's like one of the bitchinest places ever. And I didn't really get to go check anything out or watch any other events. And I just got back so I could go to school and stuff and work. But I'm not doing that again, dude. I'm gonna go there and enjoy it. I'm gonna go to Barcelona.
Yeah. Go to a rave or two.
Yes, something.
It's Europe, man. Go crazy. Woo! Just don't let any pictures show up on Facebook. You got sponsors. Just remember that.
Yeah, I don't even know what's there. I don't even know what Barcelona is. So it should be fun. It should be bitching. I'm looking forward to it.
What you look like you have some advice for him, Jen. You're shaking your head and laughing.
Yeah. I'm just laughing.
Mm-hmm. See, Jen hasn't realized yet that she can just say whatever she's thinking. Now, she may go, there might be people watching this that I don't want to hear her say, but it's okay. I know they're watching. I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's my show, right? Right?
I don't really know what I can say either. I'm just firing away. I don't know if that's okay or whatever, but I'm just going for it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I always tell people is you're not going to offend me, and don't say anything weird and religious because that's just... Nobody wants that. Like, this isn't that kind of show. So, you know what I mean? Like, those are my rules. Like, and those are pretty broad rules, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
If we had video of you right now and you're, like, hanging out in, like, a banana hammock, I really wouldn't have a problem with it. I just suck because I have to stare at like a picture of Jin on one side and then a banana hammock on the other, and it's like,
Oh my God.
you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you choose? You just like cover an eye, really.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, Jin, you know the fact that betas are kind of, they're a European brand. They're coming more into the States. We've got a couple of GNCC guys that race those bikes. So, does that like make you think, oh my gosh, like how did he get hooked up with these beta deals? Like, why is he riding these bikes? Like, how's it going? Any stuff like that? I mean, do you?
Hey, we had a beta on the GNCC podium this
Yeah,
weekend.
you did. Now you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
Justin Sode got the whole shot in the XC2.
Yep. What did he get? What place did he get?
Third, right?
Third.
Yes.
Nice.
And
Good
it was the Tough Mudder, so it was pretty intense, man. It was
Nice.
awesome.
I saw that, dude. Those pictures look ridiculous. Muddy and stuff, dude. Ugh.
Yeah. So would you do that? Like you're out there at that race. It's Saturday night. You got a racing that the next day. Are you gonna do it, or are you gonna be like, oh, I'm going home?
I mean, I'm from Arizona, man. If I drove all the way out there, I'd have to race, but I would definitely be hoping that the race got canceled. I mean, that's not, dude. You ruin a bike doing one race. It sucks,
Yeah. Well, I mean, so does losing points. You're in it to win it, or what?
Hey, I agree. But I mean,
You
yeah,
didn't jump that fire pit because you were worried about your bike.
yeah. Well, that's a 4-hour muddy ass GNCC is a little different than one little fire pit. But I know what you mean.
I know. I'm just giving you crap because I can.
Yeah.
No, so tell us a little bit about that beta. I think, were you on the 350 or were you on the 300?
I was on the 350.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Because Cody was on the 350 last year, but then he's on the 300 now, the two-stroke this year. But you're still on the four-stroke, the 350. So why did you decide to ride that bike? Or was that a decision made for you?
No decisions were made for me. I had a choice of what I wanted to ride: a 350 4-stroke or a 300 2-stroke, and that's pretty much the ultimate trade-off there. I mean, they're both so good in a lot of situations. And I actually have a 300 2-stroke, and I've been riding with it, practicing on it, training with it, and I did King of Motos on the 2-stroke, and I was this close to riding a 2-stroke for Endurocross. And then, I don't really know what made me choose the 4-stroke, but last year I rode the 350, and we just had a really good setup on it. It was a really good bike, really easy to ride. I don't know, it was just a proven bike. I really liked it, and it was kind of more like you can't really go wrong with a 350 4-stroke. That was kind of more like where I was coming from. Like, you really just can't go wrong with a 350 4-stroke. It's good for everything.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I chose the 350 4-stroke. But no, I did not. They didn't tell me to ride a 350, or they didn't tell anybody to ride anything. They pretty much gave me the choice, and I chose the 4-stroke.
Yeah. No, that's understood. I mean, who could say if Taddy chose a 350 or Taddy was essentially given a choice for him, but he's kicking ass on that damn thing, so it doesn't make a difference, and you're riding that bike like a beast. So I don't, even if somebody made a decision for you, which obviously you said they didn't, so they didn't. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you're being a badass regardless, which is great.
Totally.
That's what you should do. Yeah.
2-stroke, 4-stroke, badass. Either
Yeah.
way.
He's like, I mean, that's like a T-shirt, right?
I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah. We'll call up Brian Elliott and be like, dude, we got an idea that'll gonna make us millions. We're just hoping you're gonna print it for free.
Yeah. I got the $1 million idea.
I don't think the moto industry, unfortunately, is gonna, at least the dirt bike side of it anyway, is gonna make us that much money on shirts like that. But we'll see.
Yeah. I don't think there's even like $1 million in the industry. So yeah.
I don't know. Jin's bank account's pretty big.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just because of all of her sugar daddies, though.
Oh damn.
I have a lot of those.
Yeah, I hear you. Me and you both. So, Jin, got Mother's Day coming up. What are you gonna be doing? Gonna hang out with your ma?
I'm going to be taking the weekend off. It'll be like my last weekend for the whole summer, so
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy some time here in West Virginia.
Is that where you're not? Are you from West Virginia originally?
No, I'm from Northern Illinois originally.
So no going home. Just taking it easy.
Nope. Nope, I've been traveling quite a bit lately, and I have a lot more ahead of me. So I'm just gonna hang out here. Maybe I'll get my bike fixed. That'd be
Hey!
Bike fixed.
I
Yep.
think that's a fantastic idea. So, Max Gersten, if you didn't know, Jen Kenyon put a recluse in her bike and it shit the bed on her. And
But it's not Recluse's fault. It was a.
oh no, yeah, no, I'm just.
For error.
It's just a really fun story.
What?
Because-
How'd your recluse shit to bed?
Well, I'm not really sure. I still need to take it apart and check it out, but something went wrong. I have a feeling that we put it together incorrectly.
Oh, that'll do
That's
it.
just a
They're like, what? We're like, what do you need ball bearings for in a clutch? Throw these guys out the window. You don't need those.
Yeah. Factory mechanic or anything like you, Max. I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry.
I don't have a factory mechanic or anything, so I got to do what I got to get that stuff put together.
You know who my factory mechanic is? Me.
It's his right and left hand.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, you're probably much better at installing Recluse clutches than I am.
I actually am pretty good at it. I'm not going to deny that.
Too bad
You run those things in Endurocross, right? You almost have
Yeah.
to, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have to, but yeah, I've been running the EXP for the last 3 years or something, and 3-4 years, and yeah, I don't know. I just love it. I mean, I can't even tell the difference between it and a stock clutch.
Yeah.
I mean, it just works so good, you know.
Yeah, I came from the motocross side of things, and I raced a few GNCCs, and I was having the worst time. Every time I would crash, I couldn't start my bike because I'm so short, and I'd fall down a hill or whatever. And I put that thing in, and it was like the most amazing thing. Like, I will never ride in the woods without one ever again.
Awesome. Which one do you have? The EXP or what?
Yeah, the EXP.
Yeah, they're pretty much the shit.
They are.
You guys are making me
They're-
want
that's-
one. You think
You
it
don't
would,
have one?
No, I don't. I've never ridden with a Recluse over a Revlock. I don't even know if they still make Revlocks, but I know that they used to be the competitor to Recluse.
Yeah, no, they're gone, I think.
Well, Recluse took them over. That's okay. It happens. But yeah, no, I've heard fantastic things about some of the newer Recluses that have come out. That that it's one of those things where you can now ride it as if you have a clutch or as if
Yeah.
you're not riding a
Yeah.
Recluse. And then
yeah,
if
full
you
on.
just want to just say forget it, you just
Yeah.
don't stall the bike. And it's like, man, I know some times where my arm pump is just blown me out of the water because I'm
Okay.
old, fat, and not riding shape. And that sounds awesome to have that.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm like kind of in shape, and I still like it. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, if I was in shape, I would high five you over the internet right now, but I'm not, so I can't. And if I did, I'd probably drop my drink, and nobody wants that.
Don't spill your beer.
It's not a beer, unfortunately. Jen, have you not been up to date on my recent allergies?
No, did you put it on Facebook? Did I miss it?
Oh, it's all over the place. Come on, Jen. You have to at least watch or listen to one seat time before you come on the show. And and I'm pretty sure that at least in everyone, Steven can attest the fact that I talk about how now I have to not drink beer anymore because I have a gluten allergy, which is
No.
awesome.
way.
Yeah. So me, the beer, well, not the snobbiest of snobs, but a fairly large used to be beer snob now gets to cry and weep over other people enjoying any beer.
Looks like it's vodka and cranberry from here on out, huh?
Well, at this point, it's Tito's, Diet 7-Up, and a little bit of lime juice. Because of the fact that it's Diet 7-Up, it doesn't have the same fun little kick. So, or that, or some some kind of whiskey, some kind of Canadian whiskey. Something to grow hair on your chest. You'd think at 33 it'd already be there, but unfortunately, it's not. It's just not going that way. All right, so Max officially has no idea what's coming up next for him. He's going to just hopefully hop on the next plane that somebody buys him a plane ticket for. And he might show up in Brazil or Barcelona. He might show up at the next Endurocross round. He just hopes it works out. Right, Max?
That's right, man. That's right. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just going.
I like it. Well, I wish we had video footage because I have a feeling that you have a grin that is just epic right now. I don't know. I'm just kind of... I'm gonna put that down as a possible grin of epic. Epic grin.
Yeah.
Epic
Yeah,
grin. That could
it's
be a
pretty-
possible. I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm definitely smiling. I always smile though.
Yeah, the picture we have of you right now is
I was just gonna say.
pretty fantastic.
Which one is it?
It's your Skype user account picture of you're just like totally like cheese balling it up, man. It's fantastic.
Okay, I don't even get to see that. I just see that little blue square with like a fake person in it.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
That's
I really have no idea what Max looks like in his picture.
Well, I can tell you.
Cowboy hat.
I can tell you now. It looks bad. I'd take a picture and send it to you guys, but Steven has my phone. So at some point in time, when this is live tomorrow, or when it's archived tomorrow, because we're live right now and rambling, and it's awesome. Then you guys can check it out and see how fantastic you both look. I think, man, I know. I can't really see you, Max, but I do know, if you know what I'm saying. And Jen, I'd say more, but, well, we don't need to do that. So one of the things we didn't talk about that I do want to mention really quick, though, is not to forget them, is the fact that freaking Hare and Hound guys, because I can't not go one episode without mentioning my man crush, my bromance, Kirk Caselli taking another win in another Hare and Hound. Oh my gosh, West Coast, what up? Now Max, you're a West Coast guy.
Yes, sir.
So Arizona, that's like you guys just say screw you in your time zones. I don't care. Set it back, move it forward, whatevs. We don't care. So how much desert riding have you done?
Dude, I've been desert riding since I was like, just a little kid. I got my first bike when I was 5, and I've been desert riding ever since. That's kind of like my roots, I guess. But shockingly, I've never raced a Hare and Hound, and I don't like to go fast like that. I will. I don't care. I'll pin it, but it's not really my forte is going fast like that. And I did grow up in the desert, but yeah, Arizona here. A lot of our trails and stuff are tight and technical and single tracky and fun, and we got some mountains and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, but I'm a desert rider at heart for sure.
Man, woo. What about you, Jen? Have you ever done any like crazy desert riding?
No, I haven't. I went from the Midwest to the mountains of West Virginia, so I missed out on the whole desert part.
Yeah, well, we've got a couple. They call it Little Sahara. Stevens is actually an old buggy guy, and he's told me about it quite a few times. Fantastic dunes. I don't know how much like West Coast type desert there is. He's shaking his head no. So I still, Jen, may continue to miss out on all this fantastic desert riding. But I have to say, Kirk Caselli has invited me to stay at his house. So
You might want to do that.
I might want to do that one day.
Yeah.
I was like, do you think I could ride a bike too? And he's like, oh, you want me to get yeah, I could get you a bike. I was like, I freaked out a little. I might be freaking out now. I don't know. Is this what anxiety is? Maybe it's just depression. I don't know. But he got first, and then of course Jacob Argabright got second, which is fantastic. He's had quite a few podiums this year, doing a fantastic job with his privateer run at the Hare and Hounds. And then Nick Burston got third place. So it's desert racing. Those guys ride for long, long hours. It's super, super fast paced in terrain you should not be going that fast in, and they do it. We've had quite a few wrecks as of late with some guys getting pretty seriously injured. Toby Price and Skylar Howes. Those guys are up moving. They're better, but man, it just goes to show wear your protective gear. So
Yeah. I hate seeing that stuff, man.
I do. Well, Max, I'm gonna get ready to close up and talk about some of our last sponsors. And I'm not kicking you off by any means, but I just wanted to give you a chance. To give some shout outs to the people that do it for you, man.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Huge thanks to my parents, first and foremost. They're behind me 110%. And, without them, my mom got me, or I'm paying for it, but she helped me get my plane ticket to Spain. And I don't know if I could have done that by myself. So
Right.
that was huge. But my sponsors, Beta, Still Up Performance, Motul Oils, FMF, Dunlop Tires, Climb Gear, Recluse Clutches, Dirt Trick Sprockets, HBD Graphics, Fastway, just everybody. If I'm missing anybody, that's horrible. Cali Protectives, Def Family Gloves, ODI Bars and Grips, just everybody. Huge thanks for all the support, and I'll keep trying to represent the best I can.
I love it. And now that you've talked about that, we're going to have to talk about the ODI stuff because I'm an old school BMXer from back in the day, and the fact that they're now in the moto industry does things it might not should do that we don't have to talk about on the internet. and we'll have to discuss that some more in the future. So Jen, man, you're not going anywhere, which sounds like the smartest thing ever. No traveling for a little bit, as much as you can, and then it's off to Indiana. Is Indiana? I know you guys mentioned. Yeah, there's not going to be. Is that the one that you guys mentioned will not be a live webcast?
Yeah, because actually a lot of us aren't going to be there. I won't be there. Jeremy Saylor, the producer of our show, he won't be there either. So it's going to be kind of hard to split our crew up. We're going to be at Hangtown for the first round of the Motocross Nationals. So yeah, unfortunately, we won't be doing a live show from there.
That's okay. I personally, and it makes sense. You guys are kind of you guys work for a little bit of everything with MX Nationals being run, and then at the same time with GNCC being run by the same parent organization. I have a feeling though that after this year, I mean, you guys have done a fantastic job, and I have a feeling that the money's just going to come rolling in, easy. You guys are going to just be doing this full time from now on.
Yeah.
No, I hope that's the case, honestly, because you guys really are. So I thank you. Because it gives guys, I know there's more than just myself. I look at all the comments. People are loving it that they can watch those races live. So just know that you guys really are doing a fantastic job. I really appreciate both of you guys being on the show. It's fun to be able to talk to guys that really care and really like to have fun and appreciate it as much as you all do. So again, thank to Zach Nolan too. For those of you wondering or just listening, we had Jen Kenyon. You can find her all over the internet. I think is it just at Jen Kenyon on Twitter?
Yeah.
All right, Max, do you have a Twitter account?
No, I got Instagram though.
Oh, is it just Max Gerston?
Yeah, straight up Max Gerston. That's it.
Gerston.
That's right.
It's like Get a Thug. And then Zach Nolan's out there as well. He's on Facebook. I don't believe he has a Twitter account. If he doesn't, we'll have to get him to set one up. Because this is PR person, right? Or I guess officially, now that I've just said that, I am. We should have
We'll get him
for him.
set up with one after that win. He's got to have a Twitter.
That's what I'm talking about, Jen. Get on him. Get on him. Last sponsor to thank for the fact that we are doing Seat Time, having so much fun on the internet, talking about dirt bikes, and of course, I'm having a couple adult beverages because I'm 33. That's what I do. Is Powersport Graphics. Can't thank them enough. RidePG.com is where you can go find them at their website. What you can learn the most from what we have to say and what we've figured out is that they're fantastic people to work with. We'll talk to them on the phone, and we'll go to their website, and we'll make some orders. We'll put stuff through. It's so easy to do because their website's really, really easy to use. You can save 40% if you use the ready-to-ship option, which is just freaking fantastic that they have that ability out there for riders where we're talking about money and trying to get bikes put together and to pay for all this stuff. That's saving 40%. Is a huge deal. You can even, if you order before 11 a.m. Eastern time, get it shipped the same day. That's awesome. And then, if you're like, I don't want to do the ready to ship, I want to put on a little bit of custom stuff on there, you want to save 10%, boom, discount code SEATTIME. So you can use that as a nice little discount code to save yourself some money. Really, really appreciate Powersport Graphics for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out, ridepg.com. All right, this has been episode 83. Fantastic. I mean, cricks. I haven't heard anybody in 83 episodes use the word cricks when they meant to say the word creeks. And I think that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to going through some of the notes and figuring out what this actual title's going to be. Jen, if you have any ideas, you're gonna send them to me, right? Because you're becoming a genius of words now.
I don't know about that, but I think cricks is a pretty amazing word.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to spell it. Max, if you have any ideas on how to spell the word cricks,
I think it's spelled KRCKCS.
There's no X in there, really?
Oh yeah, okay. KRIX.
I like it. Jen, you look lost.
I'm so tired right now.
All right. Episode 83. Remember, guys, this is Seat Time. If nothing else, thank you for paying attention, and always enjoy a pint full of awesome. Bye, guys.